It's a day he says will live in infamy, a day he says the treasury of Guam was suddenly and deliberately raided by members of the Guam legislature.
That November 21st was a Pearl Harbor surprise. It was a sneak attack. If you remember the events of last year as far as salaries were concerned,
Former Senator Bob Klitzkie is referring to the day lawmakers passed legislation that would implement the Competitive Wage Act for the salaries of cabinet members and elected leaders, such as the governor, lieutenant governor, the attorney general, and the senators themselves. The vote took place just a few weeks after the general election last year.
that was pretty bad. But even worse, the legislature had a time machine. So although they passed that salary increase on the 21st of November, it became effective on January 15th. In other words, there was a retroactive salary increase. They weren't content with increasing salaries to $24,160 per year or $48,320 per term. They had to make it retroactive back to the beginning of the year.
Those retroactive raises resulted in more than $200,000. But it wasn't just the salary increases Klitzkie criticized, but the lawmakers who voted against legislation that would repeal it. In February, Bill 4, introduced by Senator Michael Nicholas, would have rolled back the salary increases.
It's a confession where they're saying, we know what we did on the 21st of November was dead wrong. And it was so wrong that we don't ever want anybody else to do it again.
The amendment repealing the salaries was instead deleted from the bill. What the bill, now public law, does instead is prevents the waiver of the public hearing requirement for bills proposing any salary changes to elected officials and would require that any change take effect after a general election to the Guam legislature has intervened. As for what's next,
I would much prefer to see conscience-driven, courageous senators come in and fix it themselves. But if that isn't going to happen, then we would have to go to a popular democratic solution.
reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Ken Quintaniza.